marriage was a success.
Yeah.
I look at it as like a curriculum. And at the end of that curriculum, and at the end, there's a graduation.
I do have a feeling and a sense of freedom following my divorce. I have entered the dating scene, and I thought that as I take off my makeup, I would share some of my horror stories.
My last relationship when dating was, when I was, dating this person, it was beautiful. It was amazing. It was wonderful. There was courting that was, involved.
Don't want to be alone, So when I'm going through these challenges, sometimes you want to go back.
Child, they said she done went home. They said she done went to the house. No, he took her bag. I asked him.
What's up, guys? It's your girl Rivah, and I'm back again with another video. You guys already know who this is on the screen. It is our girl Tia Mowry. Okay, hey girl. We have a lot of stuff to talk about. So the first thing that I wanted to talk about is something that was on my mind that I was like, you know what, let me just leave, like, Rivah, leave it alone, girl, just leave it alone. I saw some stuff being posted on social media. I said, just leave it alone. And then I received some information, like, of different posts and stuff that people sent to me in my Instagram DM. And I was like, you know what? We're going to have to talk about everything, okay? Now, the thing that I was weighing my mind about is the fact that Tia Mowry has been actively posting on her social media that she was nominated for an NAACP Image Award based off of her TV show, My Next Act. Now, of course, I had to look up exactly what the NAACP Image Awards was because I was like, NAACP, Tia Mowry's show, showcasing 304 activity and, basically trying to humiliate her ex-husband, trying to, basically exude to other women that they are happier when they step out of their marriages. NAACP, like, it wasn't weighing up to me. So I was like, you know what? Let me just take a step back. Let me find out the actual definition or the actual reasoning behind this show. And this is what I saw. It says the NAACP Image Awards is an annual award ceremony presented by the U.S.-based National Association for the Advancement of Colored People to honor outstanding performances in film, television, theater, music, and literature. The over 40 categories of the Image Awards are voted on by the NAACP members. So again, I saw her posting this. This is a snapshot of something that she had posted on her story, telling people to vote for her, which I just want to let you guys know from the beginning. I am not telling anybody who was any members to be voting for this, or the public who's voting for this, not to vote for the show or to vote for the show, right? That is your own discretion. That's up to you. You do whatever it is that you feel in your heart that you want to do, right? My main take on this conversation is I'm a little bit confused as to why all of this camaraderie or support for Tia Mowry has, made its way to the surface in lieu of her getting divorced. I'm confused. Okay? I'm confused at why there was a reality show that she thought was necessary to go on a tangent and basically expose all the intricate secrets about her life, why she thought it was interesting to, bring people on who were purposely saying things that you knew could tarnish your ex-husband's character or humiliate him, like the likes of Jack A. Harry.
Nurture the ego of the man.
Yes.
Do I sound bitter?
No,
But I did know from the other side, if I might say, somebody else was dissatisfied. They weren't working. You can't have competition. It just does not work.
He's trash. Where?
I was confused at, why, there's so much rallying behind this kind of behavior as women stepping out and, again, divorcing their husbands because they feel that they've graduated from their marriage.
Marriage was a success.
Yeah.
I look at it as like a curriculum when you're in college or high school, right? You're learning, you're growing, you're evolving, you're creating. And I was able to create with Cory some beautiful, amazing children. And at the end of that curriculum, and at the end, there's a graduation.
I was confused at why this is getting so much, support, and no shade, I'm just being honest, why wasn't there a TV show about you guys' functional relationship and your functional marriage as two actors in the industry. Like, I'm confused. So we are applauding, again, the behavior of women, leading to the demise of their marriages and their relationships. We're applauding that behavior. We're wanting to give awards from places like the NAACP. We're wanting to award this type of behavior. But when the two of them were a unit and had certain camaraderie, I don't know or remember Tia Mowry ever being nominated for an NAACP Image Award in any other situation. And I'm confused about that.
I do have a feeling and a sense of freedom following my divorce.
We saw so many of those, Black Love episodes, or I think it was 2 or 3 that Cory and Tia ended up actually doing together.
There are times when I'm like, wow, like last year was pretty tough. But this year, it's good that we stuck, to it, or we continued to be there for one another, or had patience with one another and worked out whatever issues or difficulties that we were having.
It confused me that, it never dawned on Tia at that moment to say, you know what, maybe the two of us should go and show the ups and the downs of this, love story, of this relationship, of this wholesome situation that the two of us have together. Like, no, but she decided that she was going to, again, put on full display all the steps way after the divorce, because apparently their divorce has been finalized since April 2023. She decided that she's going to put on display all of this, and this is just my opinion, this free spirit 304 behavior. And again, it's influencing all these other women like, oh, if you haven't been happy, maybe you graduating from your marriage and divorcing your husband and leaving him high and dry, emotional, crying about the situation, for days or months on end.
It's tough when it feels like you're going through something alone and no one understands, and, no one's there for you. And it's just like, when you're a man, especially a black man, they're like, oh, he's tough. He's strong, but it was a year and a half crying myself to sleep every night.
Like, maybe if you decide to do this, you will be happier within yourself. And again, it's being nominated. Now, I don't know if the nomination comes from the success of the show, because, as much as a lot of people did not like it, they did watch the show to, continuously see Tia, in lack of better words, humiliate herself or embarrass herself or put her business out there in the street.
Now, I'm a fan of Tia's, but I'm about to hit y'all with something that y'all don't want to hear. And I don't give a Tia don't need a show. She need a therapist. I said it. Every other mother word she crying. And is this unfiltered? Is this real?
Of course, she had some, people who genuinely are supporting her and like, yeah, girl, get out there, do your thing, whatever the case is. So I don't know if that led to the nomination because of the quote unquote success, like I said, based off of the ratings or how much people were actually watching it. I'm not sure. But when I looked at overall what, that show is exuding, to me, I don't see the positivity in it.
I was like, girl, your shoe. Them legs were up in the air. Oh, and she was with it. Who is she? Like Tia 2.0. How do you get it over one? You get under somebody else.
I can drink someone under the table.
I didn't see a space of watching that TV show just saying, you know what? This made me understand her on a deeper level in a positive way. I didn't see that. I felt like this was a show that was done, in my opinion, prematurely, that was putting her out there, showing her in a very unhealed space, her in a very, limbo space, confused space, with people around her that were not wise counsel, that were not giving her, in my opinion, the advice that she needed to effectively judge how she was going to be displaying herself in front of millions of people on camera.
I feel like she doesn't want any of our input right now. And I can only respect that. So I think she is doing her.
Now, when I looked up the actual shows that she was also up against in the category, it showed a list of these shows. So it said Celebrity Family Feud, which we know is hosted by Steve Harvey. a show called Password, which I've never heard of that show, but it's hosted by Keke Palmer and Jimmy Fallon. Rhythm and Flow, which is actually a rap competition show with hosts DJ Khaled, rapper Lotto, and rapper Ludacris. The Real Housewives of Potomac on Bravo, which we know is a reality TV show, as well as Tia Mowry's TV show. Now, again, I don't know if they are going off of ratings as, viewership, people who have watched it or whatever the case is. But I would assume that a space like the NAACP, it would be more of what would have the most positive impact on our community. That's what I would assume. And again, this is just my personal opinion. It's just my own viewpoint. You can have your own viewpoint, your own perspective. Maybe you see it in a different way. But I see it in a way of the separation of family, and that is what we should do. That's what we should aspire for. And that's what happiness, that's where happiness resides in. That's what I see. That, you cannot be a mother and a wife and be happy. Your only true happiness is when you separate yourself from your spouse, when you out there in the streets, when you listen to what your homegirl's saying, when you drunk partying, having a good time. Like, that is the only space of where true happiness resides. And I personally don't agree with that. I don't.
I'm all about inspiring and encouraging. And I mean, the DMs that I have gotten from so many women that are going through the same thing and just saying how they admire my courage and my strength.
Now, the thing is that there is a rumor that Cory and Tia have reconciled, okay, and that the two of them have gotten back together and decided to repair their relationship. I don't know how true that is, because the only post that I've seen, Cory post on his social media of anything that involves Tia was absolutely 2 years ago. Okay, even though the two of them have been at regular functions together, and the two of them have spent time together at functions. The only person I've seen post that is Tia. The only way that we would even know that stuff happened was Tia, because Cory has never posted that. Now, I don't know if these allegations are just out there and, Tia is using this as an opportunity to hopefully curve some women who are trying to, be in a relationship with Cory, or make it seem like the door is kind of cracked open as a position play, because this is something that Tia does often, right? Tia made, that whole comment about her sister and basically said that the two of them were no longer close.
It's times like this when I feel and wish that my sister and I were still close and I could, pick up the phone and call her. But that's just not where we are right now.
Then she tried to backpedal out of that and say, that that's not what she meant about the situation, and people took it the wrong way.
Said that you wish that you were still close with your sister. And people take things out of context. I was talking about proximity. Yeah. As siblings, we all grow up and we have our own lives, and we have different roles and responsibilities. We don't live in the same town or city. So I was just, talking about that. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, if you go on Tia Mowry's, social media page, it's all pictures of her and Tamara. Like, all of a sudden, she's posting all this stuff with her and Tamara, which, as I said before, was not something that she did prior to her making those, allegations that the two of them were no longer close. Again, something that she created, right? And so I would not be surprised if this is like another similar tactic that, again, like I said, Tia is using to kind of push women out there so they feel a little bit insecure before trying to actually build or be in a relationship with Cory. She kind of just want to be that buffer a little bit, in my opinion.
The ladies want to know.
Am I what?
Single.
But what we're going to do is we're going to have the conversation, let's just say that the allegations are true. I'm going to give you guys my opinion on if the allegations are true, and if the two of them did decide to reconcile. I'm going to give you my opinion on everything.
Child, they said she done went home. They said she done went to the house. No, he took her bag. I asked him, and I was like, Cory, you took her bag? He just read the message. Normally, he respond to me, but he knows she don't like me. So he ain't responding now. His wife back in the house.
Now, of course, everybody has wanted me to talk about it because I had already said from, Jump Street that that's where she should have been. She should have stayed. She should not have even entertained possibly going to the street. She should have been back with her husband. And so a lot of people wanted to hear my thoughts on, these alleged allegations of what's going on. And like I said, this is so directly tied to my opinion about this NAACP Image Award that's why I wanted to have a full conversation, right? Now, first things first, I want to say is that if Cory Hardrict decided to take back his ex-wife that he was with in a relationship with for 14 years and that he had 2 children with, I have nothing to say about it. I don't have a dog in the fight. It don't got nothing to do with me. It is not going to make me sleep more or sleep less. That is their personal business, and that is completely up to him. However, my opinion, okay, since y'all want to know my opinion on this situation, my opinion is I believe that if Cory decided to take Tia back, that her voice should be as loud in trying to reconcile that relationship as it was when she was out there trying to prove to everybody how happy she was in the streets. I won't forget when Tia Mowry posted, when people immediately were like, hey, you should go back to your husband, In the beginning of the situation, she was like, I'm not going back to this relationship that no longer served me. I ain't that weak. So for you to call at that point reconciliation with your ex-husband weak, like a weak move, it speaks volumes to me. I'm not going back to something that no longer served me. So to say that your 14-year marriage that gave you 2 children did not serve you any longer, if you decided to go back to that.
Don't want to be alone, So when I'm going through these challenges, sometimes you want to go back. The only person that I ever loved in my life was my ex.
Okay, and you all of a sudden had a change of heart, or you found out that the streets was not as accepting as you thought they were going to be. And, you just so happened to have the opportunity to go back to Cory in that space and in a relationship sector. I believe that your voice should be as loud, again, as I said before, as it was when you was out here talking about you and your whole phase and all that kind of stuff on social media.
I'm not ashamed to say it. I'm in my hoe phase right now. Happiness over everything. Where's your mind?
And, the thing is, right, is that while Tia was out here on social media and doing her thing and all this kind of stuff, Cory never said nothing. That man never said A, B, or C. He did interviews, even on the Breakfast Club, and he stood 10 toes down. I don't care what she's doing. I don't care what she's saying about me. I don't care how small she's making me look. I will always protect her.
I've never been that way. Even being in a situation married, I still never. I always protected my kids, and I protected her as well, because I feel like that's a man's duty. Whether you're together or not, it's to always protect her.
And I got to be honest with you too. If that's the case, right, and Tia goes back, I think, or she went back, I believe that she should have full communication with other women, in talking about and expanding on the fact that, it was more than just ain't nobody else out here. Because if the truth of the matter is that you went back and you spin the block because you couldn't find better, or you realized nobody else was out there, or the grass wasn't green on the other side, you looked over the fence, wasn't no grass over there. Instead of the conversation being, based on that, I think the conversation should be widely spread on, you know what, I made a mistake. I was in my emotions. I thought that, he was the problem in our relationship. I then realized through work and whatever the case is that it was actually me. Like, I think that's where the conversation needs to be based at.
I hate when this stuff happens because it makes me feel like I've made a mistake.
A mistake of what?
Of getting divorced.
If he took her back and if they are back together. Again, I don't know how true these allegations are because, every time that Tia Mowry is on social media since the new year started, she's always in a towel. Okay, I don't know how much stuff she's trying to sell or make ads for. I don't know if she have a lotion out or whatever, but this woman is always showcasing herself in a towel. Like, I don't know if this is the newfound Tia or she trying to, show that she's new and improved. I'm not 100% sure, but I know that when she was actually in a relationship with her husband, she was a little bit more reserved. She was a little bit not so willing to, push certain limits because she kept that, stuff sacred to them in their relationship, as she should, right? Now, another thing that I want to talk about is the fact that a lot of women do stuff like this, right? A lot of women pull stunts to see if they are, like, how far they can push your boundaries. Okay. And what I mean by that is, obviously she was married. She was viewed a certain way. She was seen a certain way. You know, she felt like she didn't get to experience certain things because he was her first everything. And she continuously let us know that on her TV show.
Cory was my first.
Right. Yes.
Everything. I wasn't even allowed to date until I was 18 years old. I met Cory when I turned 20, and I lost my virginity at 25. There, was that it? And then we got married. Boom.
But a lot of these women will do things like push these boundaries to be able to get out of, you know, the norm and do whatever it is that they want to do, and just say, oh, you know, I've grown, I've reflected, I've evolved, I've changed, and I realized that I made a mistake, while they already had the opportunity to, you know, sow their royal oats.
What? You want me to kiss you? Yeah, I just wanted to call you and say I was hoping that, I don't know, maybe we could continue, you know, getting to know one another.
Right? While they had their opportunity to have their cake and eat it too. You know, you wanted the marriage. You had this man who was honorable, who respected you, who was there for you, who held you down, who in his eyes looked at you as, you know, this is going to be only us for the rest of our life.
You know, at least I know Tia got my back, you know, to the grave. So I know she's with me, and she knows I'm with her.
And then at the same token, you realize that you lacked experience. You saw your homegirls out there in the street doing their thing, having a good time, and you also wanted to partake in that. And so you take that step away from your relationship. You're able to do all those things, you know, push the limit, push the mark, do, you know, whatever it was, and use the excuse of, oh, we were on a break or we were broken up, and so none of that stuff matters. It does matter.
Them legs were up in the air. Oh.
And, you know, I wholeheartedly believe, all these stuff is just my opinion, that when she saw Cory out there getting new opportunities and how much women were all up ready to jump up on Cory, she took a moment and stepped back, was like, you know what? If this man actually move on and I no longer have access to him, I don't know if I'm going to be able to deal with that.
He paid me the most I ever made in the film for 3 weeks.
Really?
Wow. Ever. And I worked on films 5 months, $75 million budgets.
You single? What's T?
What you mean?
What do you mean? What I mean? The ladies want to know.
Am I what?
Single.
I could just say I'm busy right now.
And in my opinion, a control tactic is, okay, you know what? I done been out here. I done went on dates. I done shared my quote unquote dating horror stories.
I have entered the dating scene, and I thought that as I take off my makeup, I would share some of my horror stories.
You know, I see that ain't nobody out here really willing to take me serious or love me or support me in the way that Cory was willing to do. And the reason why I say that is because she went on an interview and she blatantly talked about the fact that the way that Cory courted her was so amazing, and she was unable to replicate that with other people who she's gone on dates with.
My last relationship when dating was, you know, when I was, you know, dating this person, it was beautiful. It was amazing. It was wonderful. There was courting that was, you know, involved. And I was saying how I feel like that's no longer, you know, present.
So she's like, hold up, you know what? Let me go ahead and reverse this. Let me get back with my man who all these women want to be with, because you know what? If he were to actually not be as accessible to me, if he were to actually get into a new relationship, I don't know how I'd feel about that. And since I don't know how I feel about that, I'd rather, you know, get myself back together and see if I can be in his good graces. And if he will accept me, or knowing that he is a stand-up guy and he possibly has not moved on yet, she's like, you know what? Maybe I need to just figure this stuff out and try to fix it.
Nobody is having a better summer than Cory Hardrict, okay? Man's been looking good all summer. I don't know if Tia was the problem or what, but what I do know is he ain't have an off day since he had that one day that was off. Just look at him. He ain't never looked better. Be so for real. That man is fine. I don't think I ever looked twice at Cory Hardrict. I'm going to keep it real with you. He always looked like Tia's husband. Not anymore.
Which, again, should have been done from the beginning of the journey. Before, you know, going public, telling people all your business, before, you know, doing all this stuff on social media. And then having this TV show that you crying snot nose every episode.
It's not easy going through a divorce. I got tired of people thinking that everything was perfect when it wasn't.
Tia, you shouldn't have to act in your life.
Yeah, and I think I lost me.
You should have exhausted every option in that relationship while you guys were in the house.
And that's just, everything's not perfect. Marriage is work.
I don't know it to be true. I'm going to be honest with you. In my opinion, I don't really think it's true. Just based off of the fact that I saw Cory had posted this on his story. I think, was it like 2 days ago? Now, again, I don't know these allegations to be, solidified. I don't know if it's 100% true. If it is, again, I have to say that I strongly believe that, like I said before, 1,000,000 times, that Tia Mowry should be extremely loud about her decision or their decision on getting back together, and extremely loud about, the steps that she took to realize. And also, I believe, in my personal opinion, if that's the case, she should be using her platform to tell other women that, maybe you should not make the decisions that I made, because she influenced a lot of women, again, to do the latter.
I'm all about inspiring and encouraging. And I mean, the DMs that I have gotten from so many women.
So I believe that she should be having the conversation like, maybe we shouldn't jump the gun. Maybe we shouldn't move too fast. These are the things that I thought was me wanting to leave my relationship. But in actuality, it was actually me going through this. Or maybe you have to learn how to prioritize yourself even within your relationship, as in not letting yourself go, not, running yourself thin. Because again, a lot of women do things in relationships or marriages that they're never asked of. And then they take, they build this resentment and take it out on their man when he never asked them to do these things. He never asked you to stop going to the gym. He never asked you to, not, have a life outside of him. You decided to do these things because that's what you wanted to do. But he never asked that. But I think that, she should be very vocal in having these conversations in hopes to mend the relationships or give people a different perspective. And if it's true, again, because I have to keep saying if, there should be another TV show on how they work to fix everything that's been done. That's just my opinion. Now, I don't know if he actually did take her back. I don't know if he would take her back based off of all of the actions that she has displayed on her, TV show, whether it was her, promoting this 304 lifestyle, whether it's the fact that she'd been on these dates, whether it's the fact that she was, talking about how she would build a man and what that man would look like. And some of those things are not Cory.
Where?
He's covered in tattoos.
Where?
He has an accent.
Where?
He has long hair.
Ooh, where?
He's not famous.
Where?
He has a nose ring.
Where?
I'm not 100% sure if he even would do that, and I want to make this statement as well. I think a lot of women need to take note of this situation, because don't be out here playing these games, because just because Cory maybe would doesn't mean your man will. Okay, let's talk about that. Let's not play these games talking about thinking that you can just go run the streets and then, double back and be back in a relationship with your man. You might not have the same luck as Tia. Okay, you might think that you have the opportunity to play these games and then go out there, but you never know what your situation might be. Your man might, y'all might break up and he might find somebody quick, fast, and in a hurry. So don't do that, because, a lot of these women be fake breaking up or thinking that they have options and then want to turn around and spin the block and don't have the opportunity. So let's just keep that in mind as well. Now, guys, I'm going to watch this situation closely. Okay, I'd like to know you guys' opinions on this entire matter. Do you think he should take her back? Do you think he shouldn't take her back? Do you think that they are back together? Maybe they just hide it and, trying to keep it secluded. Do you think that she should be outward and open? Like I said, let me know in the comment section down below. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. And I will see you guys in the next one. Love you.